It should be on live. Let me do a sound check real quick. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me get to my channel. Blah 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 blah. Oh, let me turn the volume up on my phone. Hello. Blah 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 blah. All right, we're good. Oh, let me turn the volume up on my phone. All right, we are good. How are you guys doing? Who 186 back again with another video, live stream, if you will. This is gonna be my top 10 games of 2018. Now, um, overall, I would say that 2018 was a great year for gaming, at least for me. Because you got some fighting games that came back. We got the fighting game that we all deserve, and Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z, which is going to be on the list, obviously. We also got Soul Calibur 6, which is also on the list. What else do we get? We got obviously we got our obligatory great Forza game. With this time Forza Horizon 4, which is on the list. Um, what else did we get? Obviously, Sony had a great year with a couple of their exclusives like Detroit, God of War, Spider Man, and Nintendo obviously are in the end of the year on with a bang with Smash Brothers. Not my cup of tea, but for those of you who like it, you have that. Overall, man, like I think it's been a very good year for gaming altogether. At least for me. And right now we're going to before I get to my top 10, I want to discuss at least a couple things that happened, at least the stuff that interests me for 20 not for 2018 but for this past week. First off, the Capcom Cup 2018 tournament was held this past weekend. uh Gotcha Kun won it. And and the funny thing is, I watched a good portion. This is certainly the most um I watched a tournament like this. I'm starting to get more into watching um like some of these fighting tournament stuff and stuff like that, and esports in general. And the funny thing is, I don't want to say necessarily that I'm against esports, but I've seen some of the harm that is done to some of the games that I love over this past couple years. But like I'll make a whole video on that. I'll make a whole video on that. Probably in the new year. Hey, what's going on, Wolflow, man? Thank you for being on, man. Uh, yeah, man. So I did watch the Capcom Cup. And before the top eight, I made a tweet saying that I thought that Gotcha Kun was gonna win because he was like mowing people down with his Rashid. And I did see his first round match. I missed the other matches because I had to work, and I haven't gone back to watch it yet. Hopefully I'll watch it sometime today. I do have to work tomorrow morning, but hopefully I'll watch it later on today and see how he won. But he was just mowing dudes down. He didn't even lose a set throughout the entire throughout the whole top 32. He hadn't lost a set. He was just beating dudes 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. So I kind of figured that the way that he was going, I thought he was gonna win, and I ended up being right. So props to him. The event was cool. You know, they uh, they had Dell the funky Homo sapien doing his thing with a concert, like mini concert, whatever. I'm a big fan of his. And they announced Cage, which is another one of these Ryu evil Ryu the evil Ryu character that they had that they have. They announced him. They announced him. I guess I don't know if he's available. I know he's available today. 'Cause I know people using him, but I don't know if he's part of season 3 or part of season 4. So I don't know. Yeah. So I definitely watched that. Apparently the PlayStation Classic flopped. which is great for me because I thought that the whole thing was a complete another. I thought the thing was a complete fail from the get go, and frankly, it just makes it cheaper to buy. Hopefully, sometime later, and when if I buy it, I'm definitely gonna mod it. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Um, yeah, so if it flops, that means it's gonna be cheaper. So I'm gonna buy it and then mod it, and then we're good there. So it is good to see the thing flopped. Sony's fine. They can afford a flop here or there. They'll be fine. They'll be okay. Um, what else? Is there anything else that happened? Um, not really, not really. Nothing else that caught my attention. I know. Yeah, man. Like to me, I like if I do get one of these old school like I've been thinking about maybe getting an old school console. The PSP, the PlayStation Classic is the one that appeals to me the most. Cause mainly because the controller, because I can still use that controller. The Super Nintendo controller is great for its time, but it's a little bit antiquated for me. So I don't mind using the PlayStation controller, but I'm definitely gonna mod it because they did a shitty job with with it. So I'm just gonna mod it. Um, outside of that, I know there's a lot of fanboys arguing over what Polygon tweeted regarding Xbox Anaconda or some bullshit like that. I don't want to get into it because it's just dumb. So I don't want to get into that. So let's get on to my top 10. Now these games, the top 10 list here that I have. Hold on a second. I did put a list on there. I do have a list. The top 10 games on here are all games. No, I mean I like the look of the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo one. I did. It just to me the controller just feels a little bit too would feel a little bit too antiquated for me. So that's. I mean that's really the only reason. Unless there's a way to use different controllers for it. Like I don't know much about that. So I'll we'll see what happens. As long as like I don't want to spend like a shit ton of money for it. I just want to get a I just want to get one cheap. You know what I mean? I don't mind. I don't mind. Not. I don't want. Like, let me put it this way. I don't want to spend what people spent on that Soldier Boy console. So that's what I just want to buy one that's relatively cheap. Now, the games I have on here are all games that I put a lot of time in. Now, of all the games that I have here, the one that I haven't, all these games are games that I don't think I've at least as far as the single player game, both the games that I have on here I haven't beaten yet. So I'm in the mid. I'm pretty much. I believe I'm in the middle of one. I'm definitely in the middle of one game. I don't know about the other game. So even though I may have one game higher than the other, doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna feel the same way. Maybe a year from now when I get to passing these games. So I'm definitely going to pass. At least I mean I have how many first I have three um I mean, you could guess you can call them one and done games on here, right? And I haven't been I haven't been any of them yet. I have so many games to play. I just haven't gotten and so little time. I don't have as much time to beat those games yet. I'm definitely gonna beat all three of these games next year, early next year, hopefully early next year. So yeah, so let's get to the top 10. Number 10 is DBZ Fighters, right? I was super hyped when this game was announced last year. I was super hyped for this game, and I still like the game a lot. Let's not I don't want to make it seem like the game sucks or anything like that. I really do like the game. My problem with the game is probably just me. It's just a me thing and no one else. But I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm just not into tag team fighters anymore. At least not anymore. You know what I mean? Like I'm not into like I would have legitimately preferred DBZ fighters have a dedicated 1v1 mode, at least in my opinion. Because to me, learning how to play with one character at a time is is better suited for me personally than it is to learn. You know, having to learn the combinations of three fighters, how to use them, when to use them as assists and stuff like that. So that's why it's number 10 on my list. It's not, and I think the fighting mechanics are fine. I guess the only thing that I don't like is the what do you call them? 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 The auto combos. I hate the auto combo system they have on there. Now I know I don't have to use them, but my problem sometimes when I press square, I tend to press it twice at a time. I don't know. It may be just my reflexes, but I tend to press them twice at a time, and that automatically triggers an auto combo. The same thing if I press triangle, circle, whatever. It's actually part of the reason why I soured on King of Fighters because they also have a auto combo system on there. And to me, if the game was more geared toward if the game didn't have it, I understand why it has it because you want to bring casuals into the game. Obviously, you have a very special well known franchise that they're using. So obviously, in the franchise, covers many different demographics. You have the old school fans who are following who are following the series from its inception, to the new school fans who watch Dragon Ball Z Kai and Dragon Ball Z Super, all the stuff that they show right now. So I understand them, wanting to make the game, make it accessible to newcomers. I get that. But to me, I just don't like the way that my playstyle is. I just don't like having the auto combo feature on there. And plus, with the whole tag team thing, I just to me, I prefer one on one fighters. That's just me. All right, let's see. Number 9 is NBA 2K19. Now, I took a 3-year hiatus from NBA. Like, the last NBA game I played was 2016. That was the last one I went heavy. Normally, when it comes to sports games outside of PES and MLB, I normally would just skip the following year. Like, so let's say for example, if I buy 2016, I'll skip 2017 and then I'll buy 18. Now, my problem with the NBA 2K games is that I looked at what happened with 2K18, and no, I got you, man. Like I get you. Like I understand that the auto combo thing is for people who are newcomers who want to get into the game. I totally get that. I get it. But to me, it is not something that is not something that I like. You know what I mean? Like with Tekken 7, they actually added the auto combo thing, uh, auto combo feature on there, and I completely turned that off. So yeah, I did. That is how I am. So yeah. So I mean, back to NBA 2K. When 2K18 came out, you know, the two people who I listened to when it came to like reviews and stuff like that was Jack Move and Hard Eight. And I'm not saying that I take the word as gospel, but when I'm watching their gameplay, I watch, I listen to what they're saying and I watch their gameplay, and I look at it, and the one thing I'm noticing, this is the thing that's a big problem for me because of my playstyle, is how fast breaks in 2018 were completely non-existent. Because it feels like when you get the ball, you're completely weighed down, and to me, I look at that. I look at the way that the shooting was, and I look at their games, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of stuff in this game that looks broken. You know what I mean? Like the shooting mechanics look broken. It seemed like every time you go into the paint, you lose the ball. And plus, also, I ain't gonna lie, the microtransactions and stuff like that were they really came off as lame to me. And to me, I just wasn't really messing with the game all that much. The only reason why I have 2K19 now, I didn't even buy 2K19. I mean, yeah, 2K19. I didn't even buy 2K19. My brother did. You know what I mean? So that's why I went back to it. And like I said, I can do fast breaks now. I do think the game, from at least from my perspective, because remember the last game I played was 2016. So from 16 to 19, I see enough improvements to justify it being on my list. Yeah, so I mean, like to me, like I do think the game. I mean, I don't think the game has as many like flaws that I've seen. I do think the game overall is better. It definitely is better. Like you notice some sports games you see you don't really see the difference from year to year, right? I feel that way about Madden. But the thing with me with Madden is I haven't played a Madden game in like 6 7 years, and part of it is because I resent EA and by proxy Madden for what happened with NFL 2K. That's part of it. But also like and another part of it maybe because I'm not into football like main football games. I'm not really into those anymore. So that could be part of it, but like I look at each year Madden. I personally don't see the difference. But if someone is playing the game year after year, they can tell me the differences between the games. Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, I mean, when I look at like some like I said, I haven't played the only last 2K game that I played was 16, and I thought 16 was really good, so I didn't have any issues with passing. I still think defensively defenders are a little slow, but like I said, it definitely is not as bad as it used to be. And plus, nowadays, if you look at the NBA, everybody shoot threes, so like that's just how it is now. Everybody now shoots three. So and the NBA 2K mimics that perfectly well. So you got that. So you have that. So yeah. So I mean, like for me, like from 2016 to 19, I think I've seen enough improvements. I do have fun with the game. I don't really play online all that often. Actually, at all. I haven't played online at all. I normally with most sports games and stuff like that, I only do like season mode. And the team I'm using this year is the Bucks. And for those of you who don't know, Giannis Antetokounmpo, that dude's the truth, man. That dude is the truth. So yeah, so that was number 9. 2K NBA 2K19 is number 9. Number 8 is PES 2019. The Pro Evolution Soccer 2019. Now last year I actually bought PES 18 and FIFA 18. Um yeah, they are dope. They're not better than I'm still cheering for my Heat, but dope. The Bucks are a good team too. They're a very good team. Now, last year I bought FIFA and I bought and obviously I buy PES every year. Like I've always been a PES fan ever since the beginning with what's that game called? International Superstar Soccer Deluxe on the Super Nintendo. Ever since then, any Konami soccer game that's come out, I've bought. So like I'm always gonna be partial to them, right? Now, the reason why I bought FIFA last year was because I wanted to try FIFA out because the FIFA games to me have mostly been garbage outside of maybe like a couple years. Like 2012 was the first year I felt like FIFA was really good, and I thought PES struggled a lot when it came to just pure gameplay. Now, when I got back into PES, I'm playing. I mean, I'm starting to, with with the flexibility of the PS4, I'm able to transfer with option files, which are files that because the thing with let me explain this about PES. And if you guys have seen my channel over the years, I don't know why I stopped doing this, but I always used to post up random PES matches when it came to certain teams or whatever, and the option files that I would have would put teams in the game that weren't technically in the game. You know what I mean? Like Manchester United, right? I would get the players are licensed, but the teams are not. So I would get I would with the option file created by the creative people over at PES Universe and PES World and stuff like that. They would create these jerseys and they would put them in a type of a picture template to where I can take those picture templates, put them in the game, paste them, and then it would look exactly like the real deal when it came to when you put them in the game. So and by the way, this is only available on the PS4. I don't know why the 360 version don't have this, but but when you see but when you see when you look at the gameplay that I have in the past, and I'll definitely post some pictures, some gameplay next year. You see, some of the teams that are not licensed, but they'll be in the game here. So that's why I do. That's why I do what I do. Yeah, man. I would if I were you, I would give like wait for a sale. First off, wait for a sale. But I would try out PES and FIFA. And see which one you like better. Right? For me, like if you understand the sport, if you like the sport, give it a try. And give both games a try. And see how it is, and see how it is. Because both games they play differently. They may be the same. They may be playing the same game, but they do play differently. So like I said, back to Pez. Like I said, you could do the same thing here with the option files. What I mean, like I have a couple teams that are in the game. The big thing with this year's game is that they don't have the Champions League license. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Champions League is, the UEFA Champions League is kind of like the biggest tournament for soccer in the world. And what I mean by that is you have the biggest soccer clubs in the world all in Europe, right? The vast majority of the big soccer clubs are in Europe. You have Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea. They're all part of one league. They're all the top teams in one league, at least the most recognizable teams in one league called the English Premier League. There's all the teams in England, right? And then you have, Real Madrid, you have Barcelona, FC Barcelona, what's the other big team on there? Oh, Atletico Madrid, Real Valencia. Those are the top teams in La Liga, which is the Spanish league, football league. And then you have Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund. Those are the top teams in the German league. So what the UEFA Champions League is the top. It obviously depends on the prestige of the league. So the higher the prestige, the more teams that are in. So like the league that I mentioned, they'll have 3 to 4 teams in there. So what the Champions League is you have the collection of all the top teams in Europe, all the top club teams in Europe. They they compete in a format where they're in groups. Some of them have to qualify. But once they qualify, they're in groups of four. They're in how many groups? Eight, like 32 teams, 8 groups of 4. So the top 2 teams in those leagues enter a 16 man uh uh a 16 a 16 team knockout tournament. Now the games are double or you play they play 2 games, right? And the team that scored the most goals in the 2 games combined move on to the next round, to the from the 16 to 8 to 4 to the final 2 games in the Champions League. And the finals is 1 game only in a neutral site, mainly neutral site. And they whoever wins is the top team in Europe. And that's the biggest tournament in soccer today. It's the biggest tournament in the world, only second to the World Cup. And the thing is that Pez has had that license for like 10 years, and they don't have that license anymore. FIFA, the Champions League is only available in FIFA. So that's the biggest thing about this game. Now, regarding the game itself, I can't believe I talked all this much about soccer, but the game is beautiful, and I play on a base PS4. I don't play on a pro, but this game is so goddamn beautiful. It's not even funny. I think it graphically. I think it leagues better than FIFA, even though FIFA has more of the license, so they can put more of their stuff in the game. But graphically, I think PES is a lot better. The gameplay is really good. The one of my biggest issue with PES over the years was that you literally had to kill somebody to get a foul. They've pretty. Believe that they fixed that now. So it still takes you killing somebody to get a yellow, but at least they call fouls more frequently, and it is hard. And to me, at least from my experience so far, it's I feel like it's harder to defend now because I feel like the players are smarter, and that's a good thing. So I mean, me personally, I think PES is a great game. I think it's better than FIFA. But like I said, if you like, if Wolflaw, if you're interested, give both games a try. I think for some people, FIFA's better. For some people, PES is better. So it's just a matter of what you like. So number 7 is Soul Calibur 6. Now I actually got this game for $40 from BG. So shout out to BG for that. You know, I got it digitally. I didn't buy it physical. I didn't buy it physical. Um, but you know, I normally I would buy games like that physical, but like I said, I got a good deal out of it. Got it for 40, so I'm very happy about it. Like I said, like the game itself is fun. It's I don't have that many issues with this so far. I know a lot of people are complaining about the created character thing when it comes to playing people online. There's a lot of mechanical stuff that people are complaining about. I don't want to get into it here because frankly I haven't dealt with a whole bunch of that online. I do have a couple online matches that are on my channel, and most of the people I fought so far have been characters that are in the game, right? And yeah, I know some people complain about that. Obviously the game's still being patched. Try to get the balance right, but overall, like I like the game a lot. I do want to get more time into it. So yeah, you have that. Yeah. So is there anything else I need to say about the game? I'm very happy with the roster. My biggest issue with 5 is that their new characters were garbage. I didn't like their new characters. Killick is back. That's my main. Killick is my main character. Who else came back? Oh, I mean they have Gerald in the game from Witcher. He's cool to use. I like using him. Um, but yeah, but all the mains are back, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, so I like Soul Calibur a lot. I would like to get more time with that game. So I just it's just a matter of putting in more work, and hopefully I'll get that time. Number 6 is Forza Horizon 4. Now Forza Horizon 4 is the only Xbox game on my list, and to me, um, oh shit, yeah, I haven't tried the story yet. I haven't done the story yet. So I I plan on starting that next year. Hopefully when I get a chance I'll start it next year. But yeah. So but number 6 is Forza Horizon 4. Um and it's the only Xbox game on the list. I think I mean it's the only new Xbox game I bought this year. Like I didn't buy Sea of Thieves because that game looks boring. I didn't buy State of Decay because that's not my type of game. Um, it's been like to me. I don't want to pile on and say it was a bad year for Xbox because again they're in a transitional period, so I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But to me, like I don't like the idea that I only bought one new game for a console that I spent a lot of money on. I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling. I'm just being honest. Um, but with that said, I don't know how many. I think if I had to estimate, probably have 10. Hopefully, I have like about 10 hours in Forza Horizon 4. The game is awesome, man. Like I don't know if it'll reach the same legendary status that Forza Horizon 3 has. Because Forza Horizon 3 is my favorite Xbox game to come out this generation. It's one of my favorite racing games to come out this generation. It's one of my favorite racing games of all time. That's how much I love Forza Horizon 3. And I'm not saying that Forza Horizon 4 can't reach those heights, but it's very hard. It's gonna be very tough. One of the differences this year with this iteration of the game is that they give you more items to purchase. You know, before you really only bought cars. Now you can buy houses, you can buy taunts, you can buy other clothes and other stuff. The creative character thing that they have on there is very lazy. It's lazily done. But with that said, the cars are what matters most. Like that's the only thing that matters. So I'm not gonna knock it too much for that. You can do the whole buy. Not I don't, can you buy emotes? You can. Can you? I think you can buy emotes and stuff like that. You could buy taunts and shit like that. Let's see. I mean, yeah, man. Like they have controllers, and they have, they do have, Phil Spencer, who was named people person of the year from Game Industry Buzz. I think that's their name. I guess they have that. I guess, but so yeah. So with Forza Horizon 4, they do add other stuff that you can buy like houses and taunts and stuff like that. So it's cool. Like it's cool. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. When you do, they have the every time you reach a new level, you get a they do this thing called a spin where they'll spin the wheel and you get a prize. Before for the Horizon 3, you either get money or a car. With this one, you get a they have all the other stuff I mentioned. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when you reach a level and the thing that you get is a horn sound, that's a little bit dejecting to me. Now they do have a mega one where they have 3 wheels, so you can that one will net you more stuff. But it's a slight nitpick. The game's awesome, and I just want to get some more time playing that game. So now we reached our top five. So let me get my list back up here. All right, number 5 is Guacamelee 2. Guacamelee 2 came out. I want to say, when did it come out? I think it came out in the summer, or at least close. Yeah, at the end of summer. I think I'm about like 5 hours in. I love the original. Love the original game. It's my favorite PS Vita game that I've ever played. It's one of my favorite games. It's one of my favorite games on the handheld. And playing it now on the PS4, the game is still great. Like I'm still, I haven't played in a while. I have to get back to it. But yeah, the game is awesome, man. Like it's definitely what they improve with this game is they just added more content, pretty much. And the thing with this game that I don't want to get too deep into it. I don't want to spoil anything, but obviously he has a new he starts off with his life, with his wife and 2 kids, and like obviously he let himself go a little bit, but then you see he has to go through multiple dimensions to fight the final boss, and you know the transformation where he gets the lucha mask back. It's funny. Like the game is still charming as ever. Definitely need to get more time into it, but I love the game already. You know and looking at what Jack Move and Erica had to go through when it comes to some of the platforming that they had to do, yeah, that's some scary shit that you have to do in that game. Like, trust me, that shit is no joke. Yeah, I play GTA 5 as well. Like, the microtransactions, I don't like. It doesn't bother me if it's not intrusive. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something where I don't need them to progress, yeah, it's not a big deal for me. Like with GTA 5, for me, I mainly just do my own thing. I don't like. It's not one of those things where I go into a match and I feel like I can't kill the person because he has like this bulletproof tank or whatever the fuck, like, or anything like that. So I don't feel that way. That I don't feel like the microtransactions intrude into the gameplay. So yeah. So I mean, but anyways, let me talk. Like, I did talk a little bit about Guacamole 2. That's number 5. Number 4 is Fire Pro Wrestling World. I've been a fan of Fire Pro Wrestling since I probably was an early teenager. Now the funny thing about this is that I discovered the game through emulation. When like obviously with my parents, my parents didn't have a lot of money growing up, and they weren't really into video games. So when like obviously when I decided to get into emulation, a friend taught me how to do it. And one of the games I discovered was a game that my friend talked to me about because we were all wrestling fans also, and he talked to me about Fire Pro Wrestling. So I downloaded the game, and I mean, like I'm like just stunned by how much content that game had. Like when you compare it to a game like WWF Raw, right, which came out on Super Nintendo. So WWF Raw had, I want to say, like 50 some odd moves in the game. In the game period. In the game period, everybody can climb up on the top rope. You had to press this move to do your special. That was it, right? It was very basic, and that's how a lot of the Street Fighter, a lot of the no, what am I talking about? A lot of the Super Nintendo wrestling games were back then. They were basic. This game, each character had like 50, 60 moves by themselves, right? It had like, I don't know, like 300, 400 moves in the game. Like the game was a step, was literally like generations ahead of its time. And the funny thing is, like back then, it had this 2D art style that is kind of maintained throughout the years. But that 2D art style looks so much better than what the WWF games look like and WCW Super Brawl game looked like. It just looked like a next generation. It looked like a game that was like a generation ahead of its competitors. That what we, at least the games that we got here, they were a lot high. They were a lot higher. They're a lot more advanced than the games we got here. And I would never have discovered that without emulation. Now, fast forward, all these years later, they've always released one game per generation, and now the Fire Pro Wrestling World is the first Fire Pro Wrestling game with online. Is the first Fire Pro Wrestling game with downloadable content. All the other stuff, right? All that stuff. The game actually doesn't come with it's licensed. It has New Japan Pro Wrestling licensed wrestlers in it, but it doesn't really come with a bunch of other content after that. Now, some people would say that's a bad thing, but the funny thing is that if you go onto this website, there's a website called Fire Pro Wrestling World where they have a list of content created stuff that you can put in the game. Like you can download wrestlers, you can download rings, ring textures, ring posts, like all that other stuff. You can download all that stuff and put them in the game. So the funny thing is that you're literally playing. Each person could have a different version of the Fire Pro Wrestling game because of the creative person stuff. Like I guess if you want to compare it to SmackDown, the new SmackDown versus what WWE 2K games, I guess the 2K games can be similar to that because obviously they have a big creation community too. But the difference is that's a WWF game. That's a WWE game. So it comes with a ton of characters. With Fire Pro Wrestling, it actually doesn't come with a bunch of characters. It comes with New Japan guys, and that's it. And to me, you can add. You can obviously create. You can add wrestlers that other people have created, and I guess I guess I prefer that because I mean I'm gonna be frank. The WWE, a lot of WWE wrestlers that they have there now are lame as shit. So I rather have a roster. Oh yeah, absolutely. Does it have wrestling legends? Actually no. It really. I don't know. It's hard to say because it doesn't, like, if you're looking for guys like Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, it doesn't have those characters, but but you can download those characters into the game from people, from creations from people. You know what I mean? Like, if you can create Hulk Hogan, it'll look damn dead ringer to Hulk Hogan. And the game is in 2D. Like the game has a 2D sprite. It comes from a different perspective, so it doesn't. Obviously, it won't look as impressive as a WWF 2K game, but you can create a dead ringer for Hulk Hogan in that game. Same thing goes for Ultimate Warrior, Ric Flair. Like I have Andre the Giant in my game, and I'm gonna add all these other guys in my game too. So yeah, the answer, you can download them into the game, and it's actually not hard either. It's very easy. You go to the site, you can search for the character, and once you find the character that you like, 'cause there might be there might be multiple characters in there. Find the one that you like, click on it, and then hit subscribe. and it will automatically download the character into your game. All you gotta do is wait for it to load. Once you open the game, you can even visit the site. You can even visit the site in game and do it from there. So yeah, so you can do all that. So, but ultimately, to me, it's the best wrestling game on the planet right now. They've added a couple of new stuff into it, like you can steal someone's finisher move now. You could add you can what else can you do? You can like blood will smear on the mat, and it has a bunch of different options into it, like you can do like UFC type bouts. You could do steel cage matches. You could do a bunch of cool stuff in the game. The game's awesome. I love the game so much. So that's my number four. Number three is God of War. Now I think I'm close to 50% done with God of War. I actually just finished beating that lizard boss. I forgot the lizard boss name, but that fight was epic. You know what I mean? Like the thing about this game that I love the story of this game so far. Like I love the story. I'll get to gameplay in a second, but the story so far has been insane. Like, and the thing that I love about this game is that they did a great job of making Kratos not necessarily a sympathetic figure. They did what they couldn't do in Ascension. In Ascension, I know I haven't played Darksiders 3 yet. I heard it's fun, even though it got panned by critics. I mean, BG says it's cool, but I'll if I get a chance, I'll give it a try. Like if it comes out on PlayStation Plus or Xbox Games for Gold, I'll definitely download it. I don't mind. I don't mind trying new stuff out. But in God of War Ascension, the tagline was before he was a guy, he was a man. And the idea behind that was that they wanted to make Kratos a more sympathetic figure, and I feel like they failed in that. Now the game is still I still think God of War Ascension is still good, especially the multiplayer. The multiplayer was criminally underrated, but the thing with this game is that they did a great job of making Kratos more human, and that was something that a lot of people were afraid of, myself included. When they were talking about the changes, like I was afraid that they were going to turn this game into like a Dark Souls light type game, and that's not what I wanted. Obviously, God of War is for its fast paced action, mad combos all over the place, and a narrative that is driven by revenge and blood and stuff like that. With this one is different. It's really just about a journey between a father and a son that really don't know each other all that well. And I can not necessarily that I can relate, because obviously my dad's been in my life my whole life. But like I said, I don't live with him now, so whatever I don't know exactly what he's doing all the time, and the same thing goes with me. And it's just, to me, like I just like the idea of this of this character, you know, just kind of having to fighting the battle of being what he used to be and what he was before, with somebody who he has to protect, somebody while teaching him how to. I know, like, I guess he's trying to teach him how to be him, but not in a way that would make him into what Kratos used to be. Now again, that's fine. That's fine. Like, it doesn't appeal to everybody. Like, I didn't. The God of War really didn't appeal to me until the third one, and because of the third one, I actually went back and played the others. So it's the same way for other. It's not for everybody. But I guess what I'm trying to explain with the God of War, and to be fair, I don't know what happens. I've avoided spoilers like the plague. Um, but like I said, I think that with them adding Atreus, it's kind of like that device that they put into the game to force Kratos to be more human and caring, without really taking the edge off of who he is as we all know as a character. And plus, I can say this right now: the game is unintentionally very very funny. They're legit laugh out loud moments in the game for me, and a lot of it is because it's not done on purpose. Like it's not done in a way that is like, you know, obvious. You know what I mean? Like obviously you have the trolls, you have Brock, and you have Sentry, who are, you know, who are obviously, you know, they're there for comic relief sometimes. But even with Kratos, like some of the stuff, some of his one-liners are hilarious, and it's not it's like, and it's hilarious because he's not trying to be hilarious. You know what I mean? Like it's the type of dry humor that is, you know, that's funny to me. And where I'm at now, the story took a very interesting turn. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. The gameplay, I love the gameplay. I really do love the gameplay. It's just to me, for me, it's just a matter of getting used to it. You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, I feel like, you know, when it comes to God of War, every time I start to really dive into God of War, I get called into work, or someone calls me, or I have to go do something. I've rarely had time to play this game because of everything else that goes on. So, you know, like, I just need more time with it, and the more I play it, the more fun I have with the game. So why is it number three? Well, I mean, I have two other games that I love the most. Like I love more, so I'll explain that later. But with that said, you know, a year from now, when I do beat this game, I could probably feel like it's better than the top two games I have on my list. But so far, being three is not a bad thing. I really love God of War. It's to me, for most people, I can understand it being game of the year for them because it's completely polished. The game looks beautiful. The music is awesome. The acting is awesome, and the gameplay is awesome. Everything up there's very few flaws with the game. Now, me personally, I don't really see any real flaws in the game. You know, but like I said, it's just me. That's just me. You know, if other people don't like it, that's fine. But for me, the game's awesome. Number two is MLB The Show 18. Now, MLB The Show 18, the MLB series is my favorite sports series. Yeah, that's cool, man. Like this, I mean, whenever you get a chance, man, if you want to make, I don't know if you make videos anymore, but if you want to make videos, man, let me know. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, just let me know, man. Like you know, I'm cool to have discussion with people I don't know. Like I don't, you know, we can like two people can disagree on something and still be cool. You know what I mean? So I'm down for that. But yeah, the MLB series has been my favorite series and my favorite sports franchise in gaming over the past, I want to say, like 6 7 years. Like I've been ever since '98. I've been playing MLB The Show, and I feel like the show has always improved every year, every generation. They've always made subtle improvements. Now with a baseball game, it's a lot easier to improve a baseball game than the other sports because with baseball, there's so many things. Like since the game is like obviously slower than the other sports, and it's not moving as fast, it's very easy to make the game look better. You know what I mean? Like you can like with you know, and also you have to take into account is the only sports game that I can think of where the atmosphere is as important as the game itself. Like for example, if you look at Wrigley Field and you look at Fenway Park, those are iconic stadiums, right? And you know, with Wrigley Field, you have the ivory. Well, when I don't know when they start to grow. I think in the spring they start to grow. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, you have the ivory at Wrigley Field. You have the big monster. You have the big monster in right field. Is it right field? Yeah, in right field at Fenway. The the game can make like the with baseball it's easier. It's a lot easier to make a game look beautiful. Like like baseball games can be that showcase game, show off game for next generation because it's easier to make the characters look like their real life selves because the game is slow, and there's not a lot there. You don't have to really, there's not a whole bunch of animation to. Now they put a lot of animation into the game, but I don't know it's hard to explain. Like with football, you have to worry about 11, 22 people on the field at one time, and you have to make sure that they're all doing what they're supposed to do. Because if you watch a guy I should subscribe to, his name is Ryan Moody. Ryan Moody, he's like a Madden player. But what he does, he dissects every portion of the game to see if a O lineman is doing the right thing. And years and years, he's always found like flaws in computer logic when it comes to the O line, the pursuit of defensive backs and linebackers and stuff like that. In the the 2K game, you have to make sure 10 guys are all doing what they're supposed to do. And if they don't, it'll make the game look stupid or whatever. Same thing go with soccer. Same thing goes with the NHL, right? With baseball, I mean, really, the only at max, I would say that there's like 5 or 6 guys doing something at a time, right? You have nine. You obviously you have 9 guys on the field. You have the pitcher, the catcher, first base, second base, shortstop, third. You get what I'm saying. Is it 60 FPS? I think so. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. I think it is. Or at least it should be. At least I think it should be. You know what I mean? But yeah. But with baseball, there's not a lot going on. So they can put in the resources to make the crowds detailed, to make the stadium look like the stadium that it's supposed to be, and stuff like that. So like this year's game, they added like some of the flaws that they had in last year's game. They completely taken away. Um, I don't know if I have enough time to go through all the changes that they made when it came to the animations. Like for example, with the catcher, one of the big um one of the big flaws in last year's game is when a catcher misplayed the ball, his reaction time would be super slow. And what would happen is if you had a guy on first base, yeah, yeah, that's true. I am too busy enjoying the game to notice. I mean, like with frames with FPS, it's not something that I notice. If it's bad, then yeah, that's bad. It's noticeable. But if it's like at 30, like it's not a big deal to me. Right? You know what I mean? Like it's not a big deal. The only time when I feel like a change from frames was jarring was when Fortnite went from 30 to 60. When Fortnite went to 60, that was a big change. Like I noticed that. It was a big change. Unfortunately, the game turned to shit, so I can't really, puddles in MLB. Are there puddles? No, there's no puddles in MLB. There is in the next game I'm talking about. There is in my game of the year. There is puddles in there, but I digress. Let me hold off on that. Now with MLB the show, right? Like I said, if a catcher misplayed the ball, then and there was a guy at first base, he automatically got he would automatically be able to take second base because the reaction time of the catcher would be so slow. This year they fixed that. They completely fixed it now that now that if a ball is like in the vicinity of the catcher, he'll be able to react in time to not allow that. Another thing that happened, and this happened to me in 17, is sometimes when you hit, well, let's say if someone hits a ground ball, right, the infielder would be slow in reacting to playing the ball. So for example, let's say if I have a guy who's really really fast, let's say 95, who has 95 speed, right? Sometimes if a ball is hit a certain way, the the infielder is not going to react to the play as if there's a guy who's running down the first baseline fast. So So he would sometimes, like, this happened rarely, but it did happen. It not rarely, but it did happen from time to time. So a third baseman would receive the ball, and instead of rushing the throw to catch the speedy guy, he'll just play it like it's a regular play. And to me, that's not how baseball is. That's not how baseball is played. That you can't do it that way because you're always gonna have you. Now you have a guy who's 95 speed at first base, and now he's a threat to steal. You know what I mean? So they fixed that, and then they completely fixed the tagging system. And I remember doing this play in 2018, and I actually have it. I did share it on Twitter. Is where my second baseman fielded the ball when there was a guy at first, right? Obviously, because the ball is hit on the ground, the runner has to advance to second. So what I would do, what I did was I was able to play the ball as a second baseman, and automatically the player, since the runner and the second baseman were close to each other, all I had to do is I had to go into the vicinity of the runner, be able to tag him, and then it will smoothly transition into me throwing to the first baseman who for a double play. That would have never happened in last year's game. What would have happened in last year's game? They would have done was that he would have made a wonky animation to tag the guy, and that was a chore whether or not he would have gotten him or not. But then what the problem is, unless the guy running the first base was super slow, you would I would probably would not have been able to catch him. I would not have been able to do the double play because of it. So they did all sorts of things to improve the game. So that's why it's number two. Like normally, the MLB game would be five or six on my list because not be obviously because it just depends on the game that come out this year, but also because they'll add and improve on certain things, but they'll mess up on other areas. This year, I think the game, I don't want to say necessarily it's flawless, but the game is legit this year, and I do believe that it's the best sports game out. So there you go. Oh man, my throat's starting to hurt, but let me get through this. The number one, my game of the year is Spider Man. The reason why Spider Man number one for me is one simple reason. The game is fun as fuck to play. It's fun. Web slinging is fun. Combat is fun. Even some of the monotonous stuff like chasing pigeons and what other stuff you're fighting crime, doing the district stuff, kind of looking for districts to unlock and stuff like that. All that stuff to me is fun, and the main reason why all that stuff is fun because the movement is fun. Like being able to web sling, your wall crawling, your wall running, you're warping from side building to side building. I'm doing like cartwheels and flips and tricks and stuff like that. All that stuff is fun. And to me, what I care about most in gaming is if the game is fun. That's what I care about. If the game is fun. Now and to me what also yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I love Sunset Overdrive so much, and that's why I was such a fan of Infamous back in the day. Because as long as movement is fun, I'll do the monotonous stuff. I don't care. Like I don't I'll do if I have to go ahead and chase pigeons around, I'll do it. I don't give a shit. You know why? Because trying to catch pigeons is fun because traversing is fun. Web slinging is fun. And also adding to all that, the game has the I mean, according to what I've been playing right now, and I know I'm absolutely 50% done with the game. I'm absolutely 50% done with the game. And to me, not only does it have all the stuff that makes it fun, but the story is awesome. Like the story is awesome. You're playing as Peter Parker, obviously. He's out of college. I think he's out of college now. You're playing as grown up Peter, right? He has all these things, going on with his thing. I haven't played Detroit yet. And to be frank, I don't think Detroit's my type of game. But like I said, if I get an opportunity to play it, I'll definitely give it a try. Um, but like I said, right, you're playing as Peter Parker. You know, you're doing you're dealing with everything going on with Mary Jane, Aunt May, Martin Lee. You know, what I mean, like to me, the story is so goddamn good in this game. Like the story is it to me. That's the part of that makes this game the complete package for me. Is the story? It's the story too. Like the gameplay is fun, but the story is also really good. And it's part of the reason why it's part of the reason why it's my game of the year because the game is fun. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, true, man. Like they really did, and Insomniac needs to be credited with this because they did a great job with the story in the game. They did a really good job with it, and also the thing about the game graphically is I'm not gonna say the game is graphically better than God of War. 'Cause I don't think it is, but the way they did New York City, especially at night, it's going through Times Square at night is oh okay. Oh okay, 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 okay. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'll give Detroit a try next year if I get an opportunity to. But back to Spider Man. Like the graphics in the game are really good. I don't think it's better. Like I said, I don't think it's better than God of War. But when you look at what all the stuff that they put into the city, right? Like like I'm passing through Madison Square Garden. You see the Avengers building. You see I haven't seen Statue of Liberty yet. But all the landmarks that you take pictures of, which I like doing too. And I mean, they did an amazing job with the city. The city feels alive, which is a good thing, which is obviously really good. And it has to be really hard too, because there's a lot in this game. There's a lot in this game when it comes to obviously you have Spider-Man, all the suits that he has. You look at all the supporting characters. You look at all like all the all the stuff that you have to do when it comes to like chases and dealing with all the baddies that you have to deal with. They did an excellent job with this game to the point where I would love to see. I'm not necessarily. I mean, I mean, I've heard people react to him like obviously I've taken obviously I've high fived a few people. Um, I don't know. I hear comments about Spider Man. Oh hey, look, it's Spider Man. This and that. And, I do see some of that, but I feel like that. I don't know, man. Like it's just the way. Yeah, that's probably true. Like according, like I didn't realize this until a couple days ago, but there's like Spider Man apparently has a Twitter account in the game. Like you look at Twitter, like if you obviously if you pause the game, like he has a Twitter account, so you know like like it's there, like you see it. So but yeah, but like it's just the way that they made the city look and everything like that. They did such a great job with it. Like I have quite a few pictures from doing in photo mode and stuff like that. Me around the Avengers building, me just watching the boats and stuff like that. And look, I don't expect everything to be like completely animated. You know what I mean? Obviously, you see some Xbox fanboys making fun of the people on the boat being like cardboard and shit like that. And look, if that's what they want to concentrate on, that's fine. But like I said before, if that game, I'm telling you, man, like if you like traversal, like you'll like this game automatically. Even if you don't like the story, even if you don't like some of the other stuff in the game, you'll definitely like the gameplay will be fun to you, in my opinion. And the combat takes some getting used to, but I've grown to really love the combat. I really do. And yeah, man, like upgrading suits, and like you're upgrading gadgets and stuff like that. All that stuff is like it's cool to do. Like it's just fun to play as this character. it's fun to play as this character, and the story in the game is very compelling. So it's like, like I said before, man, like that's the reason why it's my number one game this year. Now, like I said, maybe in a year, if I beat God of War and I beat Spider Man, and I find out that I like God of War more, then that's fine. But like I'm happy either way, regardless of how you feel. Like they did an excellent job this year. Like Sony Santa Monica and Insomniac, they did a phenomenal job this year when it comes to these games. So excuse me. Yeah, man. So I think that's really about it, man. Like I don't really have much else to say. My voice is literally drying up. But like I said, man, like Spider Man to me is my game of the year. I love the game so much. Um, yeah, man. It really is. I don't want to say necessarily that it's easily the best Spider Man game I ever played. Um, but to me, like it's just. I guess for me, I just really love how Insomniac was able to capture this hero the way that he was meant to be captured, like as this normal dude who has to who has to balance living a normal life and being Superman and being Spider Man, excuse me. And I think with the story so far, they've done a great job with that. Like obviously, they have all the DLC stuff that I'm going to be doing. That I'm going to be buying. After I beat this. Yeah, after I beat this, I'm going to be getting the DLC stuff. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, man. Wolflow, thank you for your support, man. I gotta rest my voice now, man. Anyway, this is Movie 186. I'm out. Peace.